Hey guys, what's up? In this tutorial, we're going to cover the lifestyle of a game in libGDX. This is a tutorial that cannot be omitted when making a series on libGDX. Uh, no, you cannot begin to learn libGDX without knowing what methods are called in what order and why they are important. So in this tutorial, it's going to give you a quick rundown of what the life cycle is of a game in libGDX. So first off, every game is going to implement application listener. I should say almost every game. You always have your exceptions. So application listener is what's going to call the different stages of the game. So it may start out, it will start out calling the create method. Then I believe it calls the resize method, and then application listener will keep on calling render so that it can update something to the screen. Um, and this is all application listener. If you press F3 while hovering over application listener, you can actually go ahead and look at that code, which is not as challenging as it looks really. You can go ahead and read through this. That's a cool thing about libGDX. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically create a new window, and I'm going to system.out.println the status of that window. So let's make this quick. System.out.println, and we're just going to give it that status. So this one's going to be create, and use the copy paste method. Pause. I believe pause and resume are only used for Android applications, and I say I believe because I don't want to be proven wrong by my own tutorial. So yeah, render, resize, pause. We might as well have it here just to know. Resume, and if I am proven wrong, then good. I learned something today, and you guys focused on a fact too. So let's go ahead and run this now. What am I doing? Here we go. Run it. Okay, let's resize this around. Run it, and close. So as we look through this, first the create method is called. Then we have the resize method so that it can fit the proper bounds for our game. And then the render method is called about 60 times a second, 60 FPS. Every frame is just a render method. So then we resized it. Let's see where that is at. So as you can see, the render method is going to be constantly called, whereas something like create is only called once. Let's see where we resized it. That was the crucial part. There it is. It's like playing Where's Waldo. So when we called the resize method, it didn't dispose of anything. It didn't pause or resume. It just called resize, and then it went straight back to rendering. So, and then it just keeps on calling render again. I think there's one resize right there again. And then at the end, we finally have a pause and dispose. So it does in fact go through pause. It didn't go through resume, but it did go through pause, so that's good to know. However, in the let me see how I can explain it. In an Android game, a game might go to the pause method, but it won't go to the dispose. However, a game on the desktop will, if it goes to pause, it will always go to dispose. If that makes any sense. That's advanced concept right there. Just know that you should start disposing of your things within either the pause method or the dispose method. It's crucial to start disposing methods because you want to save as much space as you can. Especially with Android phones. Some of the Android phones are made to be cheap, and having said that, they don't have a lot of space. And using the dispose method allows a smaller chance for your game to crash, which is something you really don't want to happen. Luckily with libGDX, things like that are easily avoided just by calling a simple dispose method. So I believe that's mostly it for this tutorial. We just have these methods to focus on: create, dispose, render, resize, pause, and resume. Create, this is something that is going to always be called once at the beginning of the game cycle. So if you have a variable up here, so let's say you have private int x, then and you want it to be created at the start of every game, that private, and you want it to be created at the start of every game just once, then you'd use that at the create method. So x equals 100. You wouldn't do something like that in the render method, because then it would keep on sending it to a value like 100 when really it just needs to be that value once. The dispose method is going to get rid of stuff. It's going to throw it out. The render method is called 60 times a second on average, and this is where your game screen is going to be updated and your game information is going to be updated. The resize method takes in width and height of the current window, and you can take this and really do whatever you want. Personally, it depends on the game that how it's going to be resized. libGDX does have its own resizing method though, so I don't worry too much about it. And then pause. This is something to note in Android applications. So let's say, for example, you're playing a game and you get a phone call. So the application is not destroyed, it's just paused. So you can dispose your methods here if it's an Android application. So it's kind of like the dispose method. Yeah. And then the resume is once you paused it, then you can go ahead and start creating those methods again. If this is an Android application, because I believe this will only be called within an Android device. I haven't done too much iOS programming, so I don't think it's called within iOS. And that's really pretty much it. We just have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 methods to worry about. It's really easy to worry about the lifecycle. Just again, understanding this really helps, knowing what goes in what order and when should I do something. So I hope this video helped you, and if it did, please subscribe, because I said subscribes. That's funny. Well, please subscribe anyways, because I'll be coming out with a ton of content based on coding and whatever. So thank you for watching this video, and have a nice day.